So the Rams just placed Tutu Atwell on injured reserve, but who is going to take over? I have the answers, or at least I think I might have an idea of what the answer is. Before we get into that, though, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Kick, and Twitch. And in addition to that, just want to remind you guys that today's sponsor is Sleeper. So if you're looking for a daily fantasy hub where you essentially get the best bang for your buck, you definitely want to head on over to Sleeper. The link is in the description below. You can use my code JKB. You'll get a 100% match up to $100 at first deposit. And in addition to that, they also have a $20 free entry. And you don't even need to deposit to get the $20 free entry. So be sure to get in on the action with Sleeper. The link is in the description below. Tutu Atwell has been placed on injured reserve. He's going to miss at least 4 games due to those rules and will be eligible to finally return Week 13 against the Panthers November 30th. Now, this is a real big bummer. Atwell signed a $10 million deal this year, basically a prove-it deal, and it just hasn't gone the way he had hoped. And honestly, the way I had hoped and many of you had hoped. I believe Tutu Atwell is capable of going over 1,000 yards and catching over 10 touchdowns. Now, that said, he hasn't done that. As a matter of fact, he really hasn't come close to that. He's only caught 4 passes this year for 164 yards and a touchdown. That's it. And we're going into week 9. So what has really been the issue here? Well, he's logged 125 snaps, 82 of which have been on the outside and 43 in the slot. Atwell has once again, regardless of what any Rams coach wants to say, he's been used as a decoy. Now, it doesn't mean he never gets the ball thrown to him, but he almost never gets the ball thrown to him. And when he does, good things happen. We haven't really learned anything, have we? Tutu Atwell, when he's on the field and healthy, and he's actually utilized in the passing game, contributes. And when he's not utilized in the passing game, he doesn't contribute. The same thing with literally Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, any receiver ever. If you don't throw to them, they don't contribute. So unfortunately for Tutu Atwell, it's been a real bummer of a year. Hopefully he can get back and be a key contributor down the stretch to end the season. But at the very least, there's one thing that you can say: the Rams might not have beaten the Colts, who are the best team in the league according to record. They might not have beaten the Colts had Tutu Atwell been healthy for that game. The 80-plus yard touchdown was very impressive and, of course, showed you exactly what he can do. So with that said, what do we make of this? Well, Tutu Atwell is going to be out for 4 games. He is a field stretcher. He is a decoy. He is a big play threat. So who takes his steed? Well, Jordan Whittington has logged 152 snaps, and 86 of them have been in the slot. So while we could see more Jordan Whittington because Puka Nacua will be back for week 9, and of course Davante Adams is there coming off a 3-touchdown performance, I'm not necessarily sure if this has any impact on Jordan Whittington's snaps. He was still having more snaps than Tutu Atwell, so I don't necessarily think he's going to get a bump. He might see a little bit more, but I don't think this really has anything to do with Whittington, who has 12 catches for 121 yards. That said, I will also mention Whittington's been a little disappointing. Love him, and I do believe in him, but he's been a little disappointing with more runway this year. Xavier Smith has 33 snaps, 26 of which have been in the slot, which is interesting because we saw more of him when Atwell went down. We actually saw a lot more of him when Atwell went down. Smith has 3 catches for 51 yards, and once again, really has just been used as kind of a decoy. However, Konate Mumfield has 32 snaps, 21 of them being out wide. He has 10 of those snaps coming in the last game against the Jaguars, in which he caught his first career touchdown pass. 2 catches, 12 yards, and a touchdown for Konate Mumfield. I think the Rams are likely going to start shifting towards Mumfield for more burn, and I think you'll see Xavier Smith in a limited role get a little bit more opportunities. Whittington will likely get the majority of those snaps, but that said, if Whittington does not produce, I expect Konate Mumfield to take over the wide receiver 3 role by the season's end. And what I will say is this: Puka Nacua can be used on the outside or the slot. However, I think the Rams want to use him in the slot. And because the Rams want to use him in the slot, who would you put on the outside to replace Puka Nacua if he is going to play predominantly in the slot? Well, the guy with the most snaps on the outside. The percentage, anyway. Whittington has 86 of his snaps in the slot. He still has a decent amount on the outside. But you look at Mumpfield, 21 of his 32 snaps have been out wide, and 10 of those just came in the last game. So don't be surprised if we see more Konate Mumpfield on the outside with Devontae Adams and having Puka Nacua in the slot. I believe that either way, the Rams have plenty of runway in-house to make things work. In addition to that, they also have guys on their practice squad. And I would be looking out for Brennan Presley to potentially get called up to the 53-man roster if they feel they need another body to catch passes. Now, Brennan Presley had a great preseason, so I would not be surprised if we see him there, as well as True Edwards, who is also on the practice squad. But I think in terms of the body composition and the skill set, True Edwards is more of a big-bodied receiver that would be more of an outside guy, whereas if they already feel they have that in Konate Mumpfield, I think they'd be more likely to go with a Brennan Presley, who I'm not saying is Tutu Atwell, but resembles that type of play style. He had a great preseason. We'll see if he eventually gets called up from the 53. This is definitely one to watch. And in another video, I'm going to explain why I think if the Rams were to go out and trade for another guy, I think trading for a receiver at the same time, while I believe in this receiver room and I think it's very deep, I also think they could have an argument to add another receiver. And I think there are guys out there that would fit like a glove in this offense. So with that said, if you're looking for the guy, you're a fantasy football fan, you're on Sleeper, trying to decide who to pick up, who to spend your waiver claim on, and your FAAB, well, Konate Mumpfield would be my guy. If he's available in your league, I would scoop him because I think he has a chance to have a significant role with this team. I do. And in addition to that, I think he's going to have a significant role in the red zone. I also believe that. So, doesn't mean I'm out on Jordan Whittington, but I think stock up for Konate Mumpfield. I think he gets the most run, the most burn, and the most benefit from the injury to Tutu Atwell. That said, Tutu Atwell's story hasn't been written yet. He's going to come back week 13 at minimum. Obviously, he could be out a little bit longer, but he can come back week 13. And just like Ahkello Witherspoon, it's another player who, yes, it's frustrating having a hamstring injury hold you out, but at the same time, that's a lot of games that he's not playing, that he's not putting wear and tear on his body in for the season. These guys could be really key and critical down the stretch. Just remember I said that. But those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below you guys think. Are you really upset about Tutu Atwell? Are you not upset about Tutu Atwell? Do you think he'll be back? Do you not think he'll be back? Do you think it's Konate Mumpfield with me? Do you think it's somebody else? Let me know in the comment section below. But special shout as always to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later, folks.